Yes. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Manchester Mar, and today I'll be doing a little coverage of the Bundesliga, and I'll be titling this one Maverick Mondays. Mavericks, as you know, are people that don't abide by the rules, play the game their own way, take the ball up, run with the ball, always in the right place, score a goal, create a chance. So today I'm going to look at some of the standout young players in the Bundesliga that I think would be a spark to any side to create, light up, and bring joy to the fans. Because at Manchester United, we love a goal, but we love a player that could beat a player on the dribble, a player that could pop up out of nowhere and score a goal, and a player that is going to wow the crowd. We don't just want to win games. We want to win games the Manchester United way. Scoring. If you score 2, we score 4. That's the Manchester United I grew up with, that I fell in love with. And the type of players I'm going to talk about today are the type of players that are going to control a game, be Mavericks, take the ball up, run with it, try to create a chance no matter what, and always be on the goal, trying to get us a goal out of nothing. So I'm going to be covering the Bundesliga today. Some of the players are a little more known, some of them not so much, maybe not so much in the media, but they're players that I like from watching a lot of Bundesliga games this season. So I'm going to cover their age, the team they play for, some of their stats, the amount of matches played, because that's important, having a team that could play a lot of matches, because we're going to be playing a lot of matches this season for the 26-27 season, and having players that are experienced in multiple competitions and matches should be important whenever we're scouting, especially when we're looking at young players, because some young players are not used to playing in multiple competitions and being lead roles for their teams. A few of the players that I'm going to mention today haven't really played in multiple competitions, but I feel if they're given the chance to, could still handle and produce even as rotation players for a squad that's going to need rotation players. So first player I'm going to start with is a player that I'm very, very big on this season. I've watched a lot of his games, and he's shown that he loves a goal, he loves to create a chance, and he's a maverick. He's going to pick the ball up, he's going to run with it, he's going to try to beat a player and try to get us one. And that's going to be Johan Manzambi. Johan Manzambi plays for Freiburg. He's 20 years old, and he's played in 26 Bundesliga games this season. They're currently 7th, and Manzambi has been a great factor in that with his 5 goals and 3 assists. But that's not all, because he has shown that he could play and handle multiple competitions, because this season in the DFB Pokal, he's also produced an assist, but he has run the show for Freiburg, and he brought them to the semifinals where they lost to a very strong Stuttgart team. In the Europa League, which they're in the finals of, he has played in 14 games, a pivotal role player in their midfield, and he has 2 goals and 2 assists. Johan Manzambi is one for the future, and a player I would love for Manchester United to sign up, because he will be in the Swiss midfield for a long time, and he'll be a great asset to any team that could pick him up. One of the lesser names and a younger player I like this season is Aryan Ibrahimovic. He's 20 years old, and he plays for Heidenheim. But even though Heidenheim is in a relegation battle, he is quality. He is rampant. He just keeps moving, keeps running, and no matter what, he always tries to go get a goal, go create a chance. Playing in the midfield, sometimes thrown up forward to try to, create a chance. Ibrahimovic, no relation to our Zlatan, is a great young player. He's played in 31 matches this season, and he has 2 goals and 5 assists. And he has also played in 2 DFB Pokal matches and has also created an assist there. I feel like with the right mentorship and with a good squad around him, he could be a great player to develop and a great role player for a team that's going to be competing in multiple different competitions. Maybe teams wouldn't pull the plug on him right now at 20 years old in a struggling Heidenheim side, but I feel like if he was to be put around some quality players with his tenacity, he could be a great asset for any team. Another young player I like that has played for one of my favorite teams in Germany, in Gladbach, is Rocco Reitz. Sadly, he's just signed a contract with Leipzig, so his signing might not be possible at this time, but I wouldn't feel right covering the Bundesliga and young players that are Mavericks without covering Rocco Reitz. Might butcher his name, but Reitz is a 23-year-old, just signed to Leipzig for a long, like 5-year contract, I think, from Gladbach. But he is a captain for Gladbach. At 23, he's a captain for Gladbach, and he leaves everything on the pitch. A lot of people compare him to a Casemiro type because he's a willing worker. He runs with the ball. He has the legs. He is always trying to win the ball, push the ball forward, and trying to get his team in the best position. Where he can't create a chance, he's winning a foul. And that, for me, is what a Maverick is. A Maverick doesn't have to get an assist or score a goal, but get his team out of trouble, take the ball up, run with it, and always try to put his team in the best possible position. Reitz has played 31 games this season, being a captain for some of those games, and has 4 assists for a struggling Gladbach side. But having a player that knows what to do and when to do it when they pick up the ball, that's always good in any team. And losing defensive midfielders and players in the midfield this season at Manchester United would speak volumes if we could pick up a player like Reitz, but sadly, he just signed a new deal to a Leipzig team. So I just feel like I couldn't cover the Bundesliga and the young Mavericks without giving Reitz a shout out. Another young player that Manchester United were looking at, but is a hard buy because Bayern loves this player, is Alexander Pavlovic. Pavlovic at 22 has become a pivotal player for Bayern, whether it's been coming off the bench or starting, being a rotation player when the squad needs to be rested, or even starting in big games like the Champions League. Pavlovic has run onto the scene and has made his name in a strong Bayern side. I would love to have a player like Pavlovic because he would help out our midfield so much because he doesn't just play one role in a midfield. He's a very dynamic player. He's all over the pitch. He tries to score. He wins the ball back, and he doesn't stop running and moving. Pavlovic is 22, and he has played in 24 league games for Bayern this season, contributing with 3 goals and an assist. I know 24 games does not sound a lot, and the 3 goals and assists don't really jump off the pages, but when you consider that he's played in 14 Champions League matches, yes, 14 Champions League matches for a Bayern side that got to the semi-finals and were kicked out to a strong PSG team, that's impressive at 22 years old. He also has a goal and assist in the Champions League, and he has played in 5 matches in the Pokal that Bayern are in the finals of. So when you tally it up, he has over 40 games playing as a rotation player or as a starter for a strong Bayern Munich side. And that is one of the reasons why they don't want to let him go. But I feel like he would be a solid buy for Manchester United if we were to go in and get a quality young player from the Bundesliga this season. Next, I'll cover 3 players that I really like from Stuttgart. Stuttgart has always been one of those teams in the Bundesliga that's going to challenge for a Champions League, Europa League spot, and always push out quality players. The first player I would like to start with is Jamie Leweling. Jamie Leweling is 25 years old, so a little bit older, right in the wheelhouse of the players Manchester United are looking to sign right now, and has played 31 league games in the Bundesliga this season. He has 7 goals and 9 assists in the Bundesliga, along with his 2 assists in the 5 matches he's played in the DFB Pokal, where his side is in the finals. He's also played in 11 matches in the Europa League, where he has 3 goals and assists. So Leweling has played in a lot of games this season, has shown his quality across Europe, in Germany, in the Bundesliga, and in the cups. So he has knockout game experiences, and he has experience in Europe. At 25 years old, he's just the type of player Manchester United buy. We might not be looking to get a player for the right side, depending on what goes on with Ahmad this season and in Buemo. But Jamie Leweling, if we're going to get a player on a cheaper scale than one of the players on my list that plays on the right and knows how to come up with a goal or an assist, a player that's going to just take his man on all the time, Jamie Leweling would be somebody you look at from Stuttgart. Another Stuttgart player, Bilal Khannouss. He played for Leicester, so he has experience in England. I think he's on loan, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. Probably is a Stuttgart player now, but he is 22 years old. And for a player that played in England in the Championship for Leicester and is playing in Germany with Stuttgart, at 22, he played in 25 matches this season, and he has scored 4 goals and has provided 4 assists. The thing I like about Khannouss is that he is a spark off the bench. Whether you put him up top or out wide, he comes in, he runs, he tries to score, and he tries to create chances no matter what. In the DFB Pokal, he's played in 4 games, and he's also had an assist, and he's played in 11 Europa League games with 5 goals also. So he has also shown that he's a goal scorer, not only in the German league, but also across Europe. Khannouss is one of those players that comes in, he's very tricky, knows how to find a goal, and is always going to try to score. Always going to try to, no matter how much you're winning by, he's one of those players, why I title him as a Maverick, that is going to try to score, to not only build and keep his confidence, but to get the fans into and staying into the game. And at Manchester United, I feel like that's what we love. We don't care how much we lost titles to goal difference. Getting goals is always important at Manchester United. And a player with his mentality that's just going to come on or start and try to score until the final whistle goes is one of those young players that I would like to see if we were to pull a plug on a young player. Get a move to a club in the Premier League this season. Another player that a lot of people have been talking about for Manchester United in a midfield that is losing players is Angelo Stiller. Stiller is one of the heartbeats of this Stuttgart side. Stiller is always trying to get this team up and in contention for a goal. He plays on the ball for most of the game. He tries to create with the ball for most of the game. And when he's not trying to create a chance, he's stopping a team from creating a chance in the other end of the pitch. Stiller is up and down the field for 90 minutes of the game, tackling, passing, striking, doing whatever a midfield general should do. Stiller is one of those that has the quality to score you a goal, create you a goal, or stop a team from scoring a goal. And I feel like that's why Angelo Stiller has been one of the Bundesliga standout names this season and for prior seasons also. Angelo Stiller is 25 years old, so again, right in the wheelhouse of the players that Manchester United are looking for currently. He's played in 33 matches, and he's had 2 goals and 3 assists in the Bundesliga this season. Along with leading the team in the Bundesliga, he's played in 5 games and has created 1 assist in the DFB Pokal and has drove his team to the finals after playing a strong and hard game against Freiburg to qualify. He's also had 11 games in the Europe with 3 assists, so he's also done it on the European scale, where he has shown that when put in any type of game, in any type of situation, he could be the man to lead his team, drive his team forward, create a chance, and always be in one of the right places at the right times when you need your midfield general to step up and show out. The next player that I really like, is Antonio Nusa. Nusa has been playing on the left side, opposite of another Yan Diamande that has been on everybody's wish list. But Antonio Nusa has gone under the radar. He has been a quality player for not only this Leipzig team, but for Norway that is making their first World Cup. Nusa is one of those players also that loves to get on the ball, loves to make a man miss his tackle, and loves to try to create a chance. Nusa just screams a Manchester United player. Nusa gives me those Nani CR7 vibes, going down the wing, beating the player, crossing the ball in, going down the wing, cutting inside, trying to score a goal. Nusa is what Manchester United look for in a winger. He has that Manchester United DNA. He not only plays as a winger, he also plays as a right mid. So depending on the formation, if you want to use 4-4-2, we can play him over on that left side as a left mid. And if we're playing 4-3-3, we can play him in that center attacking midfield role or as a left winger also. So anywhere on that left side, he plays and he knows how to create a chance and score a goal. Nusa is 21 years old and has played in 30 matches for Leipzig this season, both from the start and off the bench. He's been involved in 4 goals and 4 assists, and he is one of those exciting young talents that Leipzig has on their books. It might be a hard buy, might be expensive, but Nusa just screams to me Manchester United. In the DFB Pokal this season, he's also had a goal and assist, so he's played in 4 matches, so he's played in roughly 35 matches, maybe more by the end of the season. But Nusa is one of those players that I also feel put him with a player that is going to give him the opportunity to run at people, pass the ball into him in behind to use his speed, use his flair. Nusa can and will get you a goal, win you a penalty, get you a foul, put the opposing defenders in trouble with early yellow cards. And that, for me, screams that a Manchester United winger is kind of a maverick that just gets the ball, does what his mind tells him, doesn't really go by rules, but knows that when his team needs a goal, he tries to find one. When his team needs a foul, he gets one to relieve pressure. The other player I like, these are 3 Leipzig players, by the way, is Christoph Baumgartner. This season, Baumgartner has just come out of nowhere and found his goal-scoring boots. Don't know if it's because it's a World Cup year, but at 26 years old playing for Leipzig, Baumgartner has played in 32 matches and has had 20 goals involvements with 13 goals and 7 assists. Playing from the midfield, Baumgartner has been finding his way into the box. He's been making those runs, darting runs into the box, similar to what Scott McTominay used to do for us. At 26, he has mastered the art of the late run, mastered the art of finding the right pass, and has scored some pivotal goals, whether it be a headed goal or a goal with either his left or right foot. Baumgartner could be another asset in and around the wheelhouse of our signing types at 26 years old with big game experience, and could be a good signing for a Manchester side that needs midfield depth going into the 26-27 season. And the last player, everybody knows this player and is on everybody's wish list, is Yan Diamande. Yan Diamande made the move from Spain to Germany as a wonder kid that showed glimpses and just took off. At 19 years old, Yan Diamande has made himself one of the most exciting players and prospects in Europe. A lot of teams are looking at Diamande, and I'm sure Manchester United is looking at Diamande also, but like Nusa on the left-hand side, Yan Diamande screams a Manchester United attacker. He gets the ball, beats his man, crosses, gets the ball, beats his man, cuts inside, tries to find a goal. Yan Diamande is one of those players that just knows the best chance for the team is if the team performs, not just him. He's not that selfish type of player that is just going to go for glory himself. If he realizes there's a chance to playing a player, he does it. Find the right pass, he does it. But if opportunity presents itself, he is that sharp to score a goal if his team needs it. Yandy Amanda has played in 32 matches this season and has 12 goals and 6 assists for Leipzig, and has complemented this side so much that is an all-out attacking side. Put Yandy Amanda in any one of the big teams nowadays, he's going to be a menace with the support, the balls he's going to be played, and having another more attacking options with him. He might be another one of the expensive buys, as I think Leipzig is really trying their hardest to keep him this season into the next season. But having a player that has played in 35 matches across the Pokal and the Bundesliga with 12 goals, 6 assists in the Bundesliga, and a goal and assist in the Pokal, Yandy Amande would be one of the players that I would consider nowadays as one of the Mavericks in the Bundesliga. That's going to just be a nightmare for defenders from the minute the game is kicked off to the last minute of the game. So all these players that I listed are players that I see are young players now that I see that are Mavericks in the game that are up and coming. I feel like they have the quality to go on to be great players, whether they move to a smaller club and then move to the bigger clubs across Europe. But I feel like taking the chance on them now, their at-risk signings, would prove to be beneficial to any team willing and able to pull the plug. Let me know what you think of this, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends. Comment what you want me to cover next. But this is my Maverick Monday coverage of the Bundesliga for the young players. Thank you. More out.